Aquarius, hello and welcome to your weekly reading for November 17th through to the 24th. I almost wrote Aquarius USA, so it feels like in the United States, or maybe you guys want to travel here, maybe you are from the US and you're outside of the country, we're gaining a sense of true identity, true self-empowerment by just being ourselves, by no longer needing to identify with what people have made us into, with the image we believe people see when they look at us, thus creating these narratives that just take us nowhere. They deplete our mana, our soul energy, and they actually make us less of who we are, less of the star. So we have Pluto re-entering your sign this week. Hooray, hurrah. We have the Ten of Fire. Yeah, it felt like those stories were a little bit too burdensome. Like, they were not only draining you, but they were making you feel a little stagnant and bored in life. Let's see, on the 19th of November, Tuesday, Mars Day, with Mars at 4 degrees Leo. So there's a 3 degrees opposition between what you believe your heart is capable of, what you believe your heart even wants in this life, and where you are. So you will have sort of a bulldoze effect on any false walls that you've built up to protect yourself, to keep you away from people. Yeah, we have unity. Things are coming together in creative projects. We're making those acquaintances, we're making those relationships come together because now we're open to receiving. Black Moon Lilith is doing the most to make sure that we are no longer ashamed of asking for help in our relationships, of defining our needs and asking for what we truly need with the South Node at that 3 degrees point. The True Node is still at 5 degrees, but North and South Node, it's allowing for us to think more clearly about what we need and how to ask for it, which is just coming from the heart space in a really balanced way, but also getting to the bottom of the why we didn't feel comfortable asking for what we needed before. Because it might have started some sort of like, what's it called? Like someone feels like they're inadequate. If you ask them for something, it's like they are taking into account and into mind, or maybe you've been the culprit in this situation, all the things that they've done, and this isn't enough. But it's like, no, I just need this specific tool to create this specific outcome. And it feels like you're going to make friends with someone who has the same sort of adventurous, creative spirit as you, or you're going to join forces with someone who thinks in similar regards as you, or they're able to see your vision. You're able to express it and communicate your vision clearly, Aquarius, and this person will show up. We got a couple cards for maybe what this person, or the context of how you guys are able to join forces. It feels like there was a false mask, again, what people made us into, who we believed we needed to be in order to be alive, to survive. This is like the foundation of the fear that Black Moon Lilith in your 9th house is helping to move. As we go from your 10th house of legacy and career, the impact that you want to leave. And maybe this ego is also just like you defending that. You were like, no, this is who I am. And people were like, There were people who were definitely drawn to that false image, but you have to ask yourself how valuable that was for you. Because you knew that you wanted that 10th cup. Like you might have even amassed 9 cups acting out a role, which is fine. There are plenty of people who do that throughout their lives. But maybe it's like you guys really want something that's stable. You want something that can grow. And you decided that you were going to be curious and remain teachable. And that from your heart, not from the outside world. Yes, we can be teachable from the world, from life, from mentors, from guides. But at the end of the day, we are responsible individually for our steps forward, for the opening of our hearts. And it feels like in order to, you have a lot of fire in this reading. You have a lot of fire, a little bit of water, and a little bit of air. But it feels like Mercury retrograding in your 11th house of social groups is allowing for you to further distill who you're not. Maybe who you've become, who you've allowed yourself to be taken for, what you decided to do with those roles, with those identities, and now how you want to come into more of you. Because now I sense that you guys are maturing and evolving at such rapid paces that a lot of the ways that maybe you remained hidden or secluded, or you didn't feel worthy of showing your true self, they're coming off. They're no longer able to be held up by you because you have other things going on. Yep, the Empress. So the upcoming new moon in Gemini, ooh, I love that. It's going to be really nice. It's going to be juicy. Let's check that out. It is in a week away or so, but all right. Oh, I apologize. It's a new moon in Sagittarius, which there will be a full moon at the end of December while we're in the throes of this midway through December. December 15th, big day, because that's when we have Mercury stationing direct, Gemini's ruling planet, but we'll be in a Mars retrograde. And the new moon happening on December 1st rules the liver, hips, thighs, and sacrum. So the lower region of our body, how we kind of move around in the world, how we are able to rest and relax and release. And also with Jupiter being in your 5th house, it feels like this reset is going to help you to understand where you feel most comfortable, what moves you physically, what you could do to release trauma or held emotion in the hips. And I'm big on not body work in the sense of receiving a massage, but working the body, making sure that we have equal amounts of time stretching, breathing, diaphragmatic breath, so that we're able to massage our organs and help for food to digest, so that we can move the pranic energy that we take in from what we consume through our bodies. But what about our mind? You know, we take in a lot of prana from the world. If we're discerning, we know when enough is enough. Like, I'm plant-based, was just at a cafe and they started cooking some sort of like bacon or something, and I was like, okay, I gotta go because I don't want to smell like that. I don't consume it anymore. And being around something, being around someone, having an influence from objects, people, conversations, we have to decide which rooms are for us and which ones are not. The ones that are not, the sooner that we exit, the more energy and intention we can focus on whatever it is that we're going for in this round of 2024. We have Come to Me, Attracting Like a Rose, Receive, Abundance, Desires. And this 3 of fire and all of this fire energy just feels like you are getting your heart in the right place to say, no, this is exactly what I want out of life. This is exactly what I'm willing to contribute. And on Tuesday, Mars Day, we'll have this understanding of what we need to start believing about what's possible in this life, what's possible when we go for that 10th cup of emotional fulfillment. Because perhaps you had everything sort of scattered, just stories you grew up with, power dynamics that Pluto did its best in the last 14 years to get us clear on and clarified. But even before that, like 15 years ago, for some of my younger viewers, we were just growing up and watching things that other people in power, roles of authority, decided that we needed to see on the television, on the radio. And if we do our research, it's so interesting. I was researching asteroids today, and the claims that certain planets and asteroids were discovered like thousands of years after they were documented in antiquity, like the same concept of the virgin being, a sovereign being rather than someone who's never consummated a marriage or had intimate relations. It's just different ways of carrying these ideas throughout time. And we are now reliving our own sense of self. We're now revamping with Mercury retrograding in your 11th house, in your social sphere, the sphere of investors. And this is for generally everyone. As Pluto moves into Aquarius, we're entering the age of Aquarius as a collective. We are starting to now understand Son of Cups, how to draw people to us. And sometimes it's through music. I think this pink could be heartfelt vibration, feeling like you can get outside. I love that we have the Son of Cups with Come to Me, because it feels like with our heart open, especially with this upcoming new moon in Sagittarius, the beliefs that have limited us, have kept us in this egoic place of, no, this is who I am, this is it, I don't know how to use words, I just like to take pretty pictures and have vanity metrics. It's like, no, you're way cooler than that, Aquarius. Don't even try and fake it. We see through you, and it's just been creating more and more roadblocks that have led you back to your heart because certain things didn't pan out, they didn't work out when you weren't being true to yourself, because people were looking for that authentic you, that authentic vibration that cannot be replicated, it cannot be duplicated. No matter what people are inspired by, everyone will have their own imprint, everyone will have their own iteration of what it is that you inspire in us. And what Pluto in Aquarius creates for us to start being, living, and becoming. So at the start of the week, the sun is at 26 degrees Scorpio, and we finish at, okay, I'm gonna look at the week ahead. We finish at 3 degrees Sagittarius. So this number of Jupiter, which represents expansion, generosity, vision, where we would like to have our sacred place within ourselves to believe in who we are, with Mercury ahead of the sun at 22 degrees, stationed retrograde on the 24th, or it's stationing retrograde in a few, I think it's called minutes, space-time minutes. We are starting to understand that what we feel about our vision and what the world feels about our vision, it actually syncs up. People actually are really into what it is that we've been brainchilding, daydreaming, brainstorming, constantly figuring out a way to justify the energy that we want to put out into the world. People are into it. And then this retrograde will take us into a place where we're deeply receptive to the messages that want to come forth. It will be like, you are your own guru. You are your own best friend. You are your own teacher. And this 3 of fire, well, it might start out as the energy of someone else. It's because you're opening up to receiving that energy from within. So the energy that this has been my biggest lesson, living on a ascendant line, ascendant north node line, is, I think that's where I live. I'll have to check the map again. I often change my birthplace around quite a bit with astrocartography. But living on an ascendant line has forced me to see when I'm sending imprints to myself and how other people just fall in line with that. They fall into the mold. So when we change what molds we are making with ourselves, what grooves we have with ourselves, there are certain things that happen and certain things that stop happening because there's not the availability for that car to park in that space, because that space is now a garden and there's no room for that car to park. So things just kind of go over our heads and around us, whereas if we're too open, too porous, too susceptible to other people's ideas for us, and we fell for the clickbait, we fell for the marketing, that's whenever we will come to find that we can't send out that generative music from our heart because we have been bashing ourselves inwardly, not believing in ourselves enough inwardly, which that takes the cake. And we have to decide which we're going for. Are you going for self-belief, self-individuality, self-justified actions where what you do is just what you do? It's not for any reason. There's no purpose or intention driving it. It's just who you are. And I sense that will get people ahead. Like, I know that we're inundated with people wanting our attention, companies wanting our attention. It's natural. People want to be paid attention to. People want to be liked. We want to feel a part of our community. The more that we, however, feel a part of our own inward community, heart and brain can match up. That's whenever we start to really see that in the outer world. Joseph of Arimathea, plant your intentions deep. Okay, so Aquarius, it's time to get clear on your intentions. And I sense that this new moon is going to give you a lift off, 12-11, in your social group, people who will invest in you, time, resources, energy. It's not always finances, because one thing that my teacher, Sensei Christopher Witecki, has said is never manifest money. Manifest the direct experience, because the money might be more. You might end up getting more out of what it is that you experience for your soul than what you would receive monetarily. Or you might come to manifest an experience and then all of the investment comes through, but you're able to sustain your life for like years and years as a studio-based practicing whatever, sculptor, wielder, welder, mechanic, And also I sense that the impact will be a lot greater if we're focused on our intentions being direct experiences, with a value, with a high price value, a value that's commensurate with your time and energy. Bill yourself $50 an hour, whatever you need, and get clear on what your prices will be. So an idea must have positive intentions behind it and be firmly placed in fertile ground if it's to take root. As it grows and flowers, the shape may change. Adapt an idea to the current time frame for the most beneficial results. A well-rooted intention can change the fundamental essence of a people or place With courage and conviction, you also have the power to inspire and to bring about change. When rooted in love, the universe will support your intentions. So I want to read this Son of Cups card because it's fairly new for me to start getting it, which I love because that means my conscious is opening up to this message. Meditation, music, messages from the unconscious. Yeah, I am 16 days into meditating daily, and it feels really interesting because at first I was at like a week with 16 hours, and then I'm at this point where I'm like, okay, if I have to fidget a little bit during meditation, that's okay. We're just meditating for today. We're not meditating every day. And that framework has allowed for me to shift into the sense of I need to be perfect, I need to get this right, I need to be consistent into this is just a part of my life. So what parts of you have you held back on and you're ready to set into motion various intentions to be more of yourself, to embody more of your truth, to stand out as an individual, but not in a way that makes you feel alienated or depleted of connectivity or resources, but a way that makes you feel more deeply connected. Aquarius, have a great week ahead. Enjoy Saturn being direct in your second house of resources. I sense that things are going to pick up for you because you feel like you are grounded in intention. And for those of us in the USA, keep harvesting, keep harboring goodwill amongst people because we are the makers of what we think and feel, and that creates our experience. Where your attention flows, energy goes. Keep it on your heart side, and until next time, all of my aloha.